First thing I want to know, just a music-y question and get out of the way. What are your favorite Madlib and Stereolab tracks?
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's one, I remember one, like, Madlib track that I remember just hearing, and it's like the light bulb went off, and I was just like, I had to figure out how he did it and try to study it and stuff. And that was like it was called like Third Eye. It was from like his Beat Conductor series. And I don't know, it's just a pretty random beat, but it was just like, it was so composed. Like, it was like, all these like so simple, but like this hip hop thing with this full orchestration. It was crazy. And then also like maybe Quaz, like Astro Black or something like that.
Astro Black.
Yes, that's what's up.
That's the jam. That's my jam. But yeah, and Stereolab. Oh man, too many to name. Maybe Come Play on the Milky Night is the one that Dilla sampled for that, you know, that Busta Rhymes track and stuff. And oh man, maybe there's another one called Sybil's Reverie, which is from like one of the big albums, and it's like
Emperor Tomato Ketchup.
Yeah,
great album.
Yeah, and that was like the first thing I heard of theirs, that that put me onto them, and it's changed for life. So yeah.
Who else was somebody like that for you when you were a teenager, coming up on records, just studying them laboriously, never thinking that you were gonna like sell out shows, let alone sign to Stone's Throw. What were some of the records that were hitting you hardest during that time?
Oh man, I don't know. When I was in South Africa, I was born there, and I mean, I wasn't like crazy into music. I was more into drawing like frogs or whatever for like ages. And the music only that I was like exposed to was like Paul Simon, Graceland, and Lady Smith, Black Mambazo. So that's always like the first music, and I still like love that shit more than anything. And then then just like in high school, I just remember my brother, like he started getting more like the DJ Shadow kind of, and then Radiohead and all that, and then I would like get into like beat making, and then just keep progressing, finding new things, and I found like the Beach Boys that I really loved as well, like as the harmonies and just like how they use the studio, like people like use MPCs now, but they use it like with like millions of string musicians and stuff like that, and just beautiful harmonies, and and then oh man, I was trying to think of like more. And then, just as it kept growing, like the whole like beat scene stuff, all the Brain Feeder stuff, all the Stone Throw stuff, and all the hip hop, yeah.
All the bands that are like fucking it up right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, speaking of music that's fucking it up right now, you're on Stone's Throw Records. It's like one of the greatest American hip hop recording labels ever to reach celluloid, ever to reach whack.
Where's Madlib, huh? Where's J-Rock?
And I wanted to know. That being said, like these guys are asking where Madlib and J-Rock are. Like, how exactly did they come into contact with you, and how did you feel when you found out they took interest? Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I was just in Australia, like just I'd always been moving. The only person like I could always like stay constant was like my brother, and I didn't really know many people, and there was no like I wasn't part of any music scene. It was just me, myself, and I just do these recordings by myself. Eventually, I made an album. Some word got out in Sydney, Australia, where I was living, and I don't know. And then eventually, I was like, man, imagine if I had like my own album that I could listen to, and it's like, I just need to get it mastered, and I'll be done. I looked at the back of all the Stone Throw records. It's Elysian Mastering, like they mastered like all the stuff, and I sent it to them. They agreed to do it. They did it for like mad cheap, and they were so awesome. And they sent it to, and they sent it to Wolf, being like, hey, this might be something you like. Next thing you know, I got a phone call from Wolf. I was like, screaming and shit. And
I freaked the fuck out too, man.
Yeah, and
right?
Basically. But then, and then he was just like, yeah, I want to release the record, and then from there, yeah, it's just join the family. Yeah.
That's an awesome family to be part of. And it's awesome that you're from Australia, and that's kind of like really indicative of like, I don't know, the whole aesthetic that they just gather new and different and exciting and vibrant sounds from all over the globe. And like, how do you enjoy touring it here in the States? How do you feel knowing now that you can sell out shows and people are here to see you and like...
Oh man, that's like so grateful for any person that comes to like any show, because usually at the end of the shows I just do this this first song that I ever wrote was on a ukulele, and it's called Saturday Night Songs. It was just about like, it's just, you know, thanks, man. It's just like, it's just, I do it because it just reminds me, like, you know, it's something that like just was like, it's so pure. It's just, you never think, it's just something you do to like, because like music's like a friend. It's like you do that, and then it could grow into this thing that becomes like this amazing thing. I'm in like different cities. I'm in meeting new people. I'm like with all these like cool cats and shit, like, you know, and like hearing new music and like playing with like these guys. You know, it's amazing. So grateful for like every second I get to be in the States and tour and meet people and and find new shit. It's cool.
Yeah. Are you already taking notes for your next album?
Yeah, it's nearly done. It's been done for a while.
All that new shit you played, put it all out. All of it.
Yeah, tell us more about this new shit.
All right.
For the people at home that weren't at this fucking amazing concert.
That was actually stuff I've been working on this year, just like production stuff, like beats for like I was doing a bunch of stuff with like Odd Future guys, and I was just making a bunch of beats for them, and like just for other guys, and even if it was like 13-year-old soul producers. So I was just like making, those are just like the beats that I've been doing this year. But there's another album called Toko Rats, and it was something, it's kind of like, it's like a document of like this whole journey up to this point. And you know, it documents, it was a time like even before where I was living in New York and I was in Australia and South Africa. It was just like goes through this whole period, and I was just nearly finishing it now, and it's pretty crazy. And I hope it's very like risky. I don't know what people will think of it, because it's like it's heaps like punk stuff on it, and like just raw like nothing. I have absolutely no idea what people think of it. It's really personal, so I'm like a little bit scared that way.
Yeah. Well, any progression I think is good, and thank you again,
no worries,
dude. So for coming here, for talking to us, for being a cool cat.
No worries.
Yeah. Thanks. Jonti's. Jonti has an album that's called Twirly Gig, out on Stone Throw Recordings, that came out last year. It was one of Arroz Frijoles Music's favorite albums of 2011. Go check it out if you haven't. It'll blow your mind. As you can hear, you know, he's going to have some new stuff coming out. And so, yeah, Alberto Santillan of Arroz Frijoles Music, arrozfrijolesmusic.blogspot.com. And I'm signing off. We'll see you soon.
Rock and fucking roll.
Yeah.
Done. Awesome.